Hello, everybody. My name's Elizabeth Price, and this is my business page called Seeing Ink Spots. Today, I'll be stamping with the August Paper Pumpkin Kit. So, it's gonna be fun. I'm going to recreate the two projects that I sent in to Stampin' Up! For the alternatives video that they have at the end of the month. So you've seen them. Now I want you to see how I created them, and we'll have some fun putting those together. They're pretty extensive, over the top projects. So I have some of the stuff done ahead of time, just so it won't be forever that we'll be here. So I see we have some people watching already. Hello, Kat. I saw your name pop up. I'm not quite sure who else has jumped on, but welcome. And now that I have people here, that is the cue for Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin. I mentioned earlier, my name's Elizabeth, and this video is all about taking that paper pumpkin kit that is so awesome already and retooling it, repurposing it, reimagining it in just a different organization and a different arrangement that I call upstyling. A lot of people call them alternatives. I think upstyle is a little bit more funky and fun. And that's just kind of me. So here we go. We have lots of stuff to talk about before we get into stamping. So let me do a quick flip of the camera and then we will begin. All righty, here we go. So I've changed the position of my stand here, and it might actually be worse. We'll see. But in hopes of not having such a wonky, let's see if I can get this to sit flatter. There we go. All right, that is better than what it was for sure. Okay, so here we go. Today's class is Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin. And this is, you know what? I said Good Thursday morning, didn't I? Kat, it's actually, it's Wednesday. I just remembered. This class is a day ahead because I'm leaving for a wedding tomorrow. Okay, just real quick. Next week's class is Use It Up. This will be in the Backstage Pass. If you are not a Backstage Pass holder, shoot me a message. How do I become a Backstage Pass holder? And I will let you know. Anyways, next week's class is Iconic Imagery, and this is a sweet collection. It's an online exclusive, and there's paper, there's stamps, dies, ribbon, and even gems, and so that's what's in the Use It Up kits this month. So this will be fun to put this together. We're going to kind of go through the fall seasons a little bit here with the Iconic Imagery. That will be next week in the Backstage Pass. In 2 weeks, the pickup class is going to be, and I don't even know what leaves and trees I'm going to be using, but I am going to be using the Thoughtful Journey. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat all of a sudden. Kat, you're funny. Oh no, sorry, it's Karen. Karen says, good Wednesday morning. Good to see you regardless of the day. Well, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad I can see comments. You know, last week I didn't see them till an hour in. So anyways, this is the Thoughtful Journey paper, and let me turn it over this direction. There's some really cool washes, and then there are some beautiful, let me flip it this direction, see if we can fan any of this. Just some beautiful scenery shots and things here. So I'm going to focus on the DSP, but I'll bring in some leaves and trees. I might even just bring in the changing leaves that we just did last week, just because I know people have it, and it would be fun to see those in you know, see them in action again. That's really pretty paper. That's in 2 weeks. And then on September 20, this should say 26th. I'm sorry, that should be a 6. Because Thursday is the 26th, not the 27th. So on the 26th, we'll be having Technique Time. Technique Time is going to be all about the Sophisticated Sled Bundle. This is also an online exclusive, and I just Love this. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, good, Kat. I'm glad you're back. Change the tablet up. Add the power cord to it. Okay, so this is going to be a fantastic class. You can register for this class. You go to my blog and scroll down and you'll find several places where you'll link to the information. This class, you can purchase the class if you're in the United States for $35 and I'll send you a kit. And then you can also earn the kit. And this is the best way to do it, I think. Earn the kit. With a purchase of $50, you, on this host code here, you can get the kit sent right to you. So to me, that's the better, spend $50 and get a class and product, anyhow. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you actually up it to $75, I will send you this kit and October's Use It Up kit, which I believe is the Nests of Winter. So that's what's coming up. Join me. If you need to see this host code, this is also on the side. So if you go to my blog, on the right side of my blog, there's all kinds of little badges there. And one of them is this, and one is actually a link to that. And so that's where you can find some information. You can also always feel free to message me or, whatever you want, I'm here for you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're doing today. So today we are making the really big birthday cake card. And so you may have seen this, but now you're going to see it in action and all the different layers and details that are in there. And for today's projects, I am using, this is the Round We Go dies. So this is that die pack. And I'm not using the stamps, just the dies. And so you're going to see these through both projects today. And so the first piece that I want to use today is this cool piece. Let me put that back in there. That makes rosettes. In fact, I made rosettes. These are rosettes that I made originally for my banner. And then I felt they were out of scale. So we'll take a look at these again later today. But this piece here is, so this is the envelope, and I cut 3 of these to make each of these rosettes. So each one has 3 pieces. Anyway, so that's what this piece is designed for, but you can also use it for some other things. So I'm going to show you what I used it for today for our first project, for the big card. And let's just see. We're going to start with a piece of, and this is copper, and this is part of the textured metallic specialty paper. And so it comes in bright gold, copper, and tungsten. And this tungsten really kind of takes on a misty moonlight look to it. It's really pretty. So here it is. It's the textured metallic 12 by 12 specialty paper. If you love coppers and golds, I highly recommend it. It's a fun pack of paper. I've used it quite a bit. But for this project, all I'm doing, and it really doesn't matter how long the strip is, but I have cut a 1/2 inch strip. And then in my Big Shot stamp and cut machine, whatever you want to call it, let me bring my plate in. So I'm going to rest this right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use you could use the zigzag or the rickrack edge. I'm using the scallop edge, and I am putting that right on the very edge of that paper there. Okay, so I'll run this through, and you're going to need like 2 or 3 of these. Make sure it's still sitting where I want. I could put a little piece of tape on that to hold it in place. Here we go. It wiggled as I moved. Sorry, folks. I have the rest of these all cut out, but I thought I would just at least show you how to, I really like to maximize my dies. I will resize them so I can size them up. You can size them down, which I'm doing in this instance here, so that I just have a nice fun scalloped strip. Now, I'm embracing because it automatically scores, so you can make you can fold it back and forth to make your accordion rosettes or lollies or whatever you want to call them. I know there's lots of different names for them, but so I'm embracing that. It's like, I kind of wish it wasn't there, but I'm okay with it. It's kind of fun. It's an added detail. And so these pieces here, let's see, I have a bunch already. So here's my tray for this project. So you can see I have some ready to go. Also for this project, I have some other things. We'll go over that in just a minute. But let me put this back in the case before I lose it. And I've been known to lose things. In fact, there's a missing die in this. It's somewhere in my stamp room. Okay, so let's go over some papers we're going to need for this. I have here some Misty Moonlight. And so this is big. It doesn't even fit in the screen here. The Misty Moonlight here, let's go over the measurements. So it is 8 1/4 wide by 9 1/4 tall. So it's 8, and actually it should just be 8 1/2, but I think I sized it down just a little bit. Yeah, so it's 8 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, so, and then I'm scoring at 4 1/8. So that's my card base right there. One more time, 8 1/4 by 9 1/4 tall. Along the short edge, we're scoring at 4 1/8. Okay, so there's our card base, and that is Misty Moonlight. Now I have some other pieces here. I have a piece of, this is Pecan Pie, and this is Night of Navy. And I really kind of liked the way the Pecan Pie pulls up in these candles here. Another color you could use on this would be, and I'll just kind of show you, you could do, and I think this is actually what I did when I sent it in to Stampin' Up, is I had a layer of the, instead of Pecan Pie, I had a layer of the copper textured metallic paper to really take it over the top. But I really don't have enough of that, so I'm using Pecan Pie, which I think is a great addition to the card. So these two pieces are designed, and you can do your own measurements or something really close. These are designed to layer on top. Let me just kind of make these a little bit more even. So the navy onto the pecan has a really tight frame to it, whereas the other has more like 1/4 inch. So there you go. Let's just start working on these pieces. Let's work on this piece right here. And I'm going to start with the Night of Navy spot from the kit. And then the little, this is the, I'm calling it the sparkler, but this is like the flames off the candle. And I'm going to stamp a background here. And I'm going to focus mostly on the top portion of my cardstock here. And I know you can barely see it, but I'll try and make them show up even better. But I'm just adding these. I can barely see them. There they are. So we're just going to kind of fill this paper. And I'm turning it because I don't want it the same all the way around. You know what I mean? Okay. Just kind of fill this area. And notice I just kind of left the middle blank. That's because I know there's going to be a lot of stuff in that area. Anyhow, just have some fun adding some texture in here. Okay, some of those I'm not even sure that they're going to show, but that's okay. Let me grab a piece of scratch paper. I should have put that underneath me to begin with. And next I'm going to, and these are all the steps that I did include on the card that I sent in. I grabbed, you can grab any of your white ink pads. I still have my very old one because I prefer this one to the newer one. I don't know why, I just do. And, oh, I thought I packed a Where did my... Oh, shoot, Queen. I thought I brought... Oh, here it is. I did. I have an aqua painter here. Notice I said aqua painter and not a water painter. This is an older aqua painter that we used to carry. And this one, you can see how I have white ink in it. I've kind of devoted this one, and it's kind of gnarly here. This one I devote, I have devoted to using with white ink. And so I have a little cup of water here. So rather than putting water in the barrel, I am putting water just in a little cup there. And then I'm mixing some ink here. And then very carefully, I don't want big, huge, crazy splatters. I want like stylish splatters. Let's see if we can get them to be a little bigger. There we go. That's a perfect one right there. And I don't want to touch it or anything because I want these little splatters to hold their shape. And I'm going to rotate my card just so that my splatter goes in several directions here. Okay, I'm not really worrying about the bottom half because it's not going to show at all. So once I feel like I have the splatters that I want going, let me see if I can get a few bigger ones. Okay, so there's my splatters, and then I'll just kind of rinse the tip of my brush out and then just put that away. I'm done with that. Done with my white ink pad. Okay, get rid of that. And now I'm going to pull out my Wink of Stella. And whenever I splatter white, I always seem to like to splatter a little Stella action as well. I think it helps to add to the depth, that white and the kind of the clear glitter brush that this is. Okay, so I've just got that going, and I'm going to set that aside for just a few minutes so that that can dry. Mostly the white. The Wink of Stella dries a little quicker than the white. But next, I'm going to bring in one of the fold-out card here. Now, we're not going to use all of the card. We're going to use this end section, and then we're going to skip the middle one, and then we're going to use this one and this one. So we're going to cut those apart. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. And you know what? Where is that fold? It's right there. I'm going to cut this one off. Okay. Just going to trim that one off. We'll set that aside. This is cute. Could be used for another project somewhere. And I am going to just take off about 3/8 of an inch. I'm just going to cut all the way across. Okay, that's trash. And now let's separate these. And for now, I'm going to separate them on the score lines. I may end up trimming them a little bit, for sure. So that's that one. There's that one. And then this one with the 3 candles. Save that. Be cute on another card. So these are the 3 pieces that I'm going to use for creating my cake. And so it was interesting that Cindy and Sheila saw this as maybe a castle. I had intended it to be a cake. So let's see. It's kind of not all the way in. I almost have to turn it just so you can see it all. So that was kind of my thought behind all of this. And let me bring my Night of Navy piece in. And this is where I'm going to do a little bit of trimming, I think. Just right in here. I think I'm going to make this bottom layer. I'm going to take off just a little bit more. And I'm going to take it off from this side just because I like the way this side looks compared to that one. So I'm just going to take probably, and I'm going to turn it upside down. Let's see, I'm going to take off maybe not 1/4 of an inch, more like 1/8 of an inch. I just want to narrow it up just a little bit. And I think that's all the trimming I'm going to do. Okay. And so now you can see this fits, and I'll bring this up so you can see. It fits pretty tight in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave an even border on the right, the bottom, and this side right here. And I'm gonna actually put this on with dimensionals, but not yet. We're just gonna kind of dry fit our pieces together here before we actually do any adhering. So this is how our cake starts to take shape. And being that I saw this as a cake, if you remember the pieces that we cut using the Round We Go dies, in wedding cakes, a lot of times you will see, and maybe not quite as much as you used to, but they'll do often like a band of frosting or actually real ribbon around them. And so that's kind of what this is right here that I'm going to add to the cake. And I'm simply just going to go, okay, this one needs 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs 6. It needs 6 little scallops here. So let me just kind of put this in upside down. 2, 4, 6. It's right there. Okay, so I have enough for my top tier of my cake. And let's see, this one's gonna need to there. You like my very precise measurements? It's to there. I will often do that, just kind of measure with a little crinkle with my thumbnail. I know, it sounds weird, but it works. So there's my scallop ribbon for that layer. And have another piece of it right here. So let's see how many this one's going to need. It's going to be, oh, this one has, needs just a little bit more. So, let's see here. Let's go this way. Okay, so this one I have to split the difference. Just, I can't go like right in the scallops. I have to kind of go in between, but that's okay. There's that one right there. Awesome. We are ready to rock and roll, as my mom would say. Okay, so then let's do this. I'm going to glue this one. Oh, I forgot to get my glue going. I hope it's not dried out, because I don't have a pin here. Oh, it's not dried out. I must have had the lid on. Good girl. Okay, so keeping it real easy. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Just what you didn't want to do is get glue where you didn't want it. Linda, hello. Let's see. That's funny, Karen. I'm glad I'm not the only one that measures a real scientific way. It's a thumbnail squish. And I've got glue on my thumb, speaking of which. And then I've got some glue now on my copper. Now with foil, I've mentioned this before. Don't use an adhesive remover on foil. It doesn't work. What you're gonna want to do is test on a piece of scratch paper if rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip. If it doesn't remove the color, use that and it will take that ink, that your adhesive off. Okay, but I can feel it right in here. And because I'm kind of obsessive compulsive, I am gonna remove that. Okay, that's better. All right, so now this one's gonna come in here, but before I put that on, I'm gonna come around and I'm going to tie. See, I actually remembered my ribbon or twine before I glued it down. I know so oftentimes I will forget. But I'm simply just going to tie the rose gold. Is this not the greatest or whatever? Or what? So I'm going to measure, but I'm not going to tie just yet. Let me show you why. So on this, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Ah, there it is right there. You see that little clear whitish core, those threads that are in the middle there? I am going to pull that stuff out. All right, now, I may not keep this piece, but some of this I do keep on hand, and let me tell you why. This has, it looks like angel hair, and it's gorgeous on Christmas cards. So if you want to keep it, go for it. It is really pretty. You can just kind of roll it back up on this when everything's done, if you want. But I removed that because I'm going to be fraying the ends, and it just doesn't work for me. So that's why I pull that out. Also, if you're ever working with this stuff, I will have a tendency to remove it anyway, just because it ties better and it holds shape better without it. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, so just a normal old, nothing too fancy here. And I'm not worried if it's not perfectly tight. I'll be able to tighten it up later with stuff that's going down. So that's as far as I'm going to take that one. And I think I am going to kind of work a little bit different here. I'm going to tie around this one so that I have this one on and ready to go. Okay, let me take that core out. Okay, remove that. You see, it comes out super, super easy, folks. If you don't, you'll see it when you fringe because I'm going to fringe the ends of this. You'll see it, and then you'll have to just kind of clip it out because it gets tangled up. So that's why I do it. I know, we just live with sticky fingers, don't we? Alicia. Sticky fingers. It seems like it's just kind of an ongoing battle. And one more, and then I can kind of put this together. Oh, you guys, we have this puppy that came back to us, and she is such a barker. She's driving me crazy. She's out there right now just barking at the sun. It's like, why? I mean, she runs outside and she doesn't even bark at anything. She just like looks up at the sky and starts barking. She's driving me crazy. Okay, here we go. So if you have any recommendations on barking dogs, I would love to hear them. Okay, 20 minutes later. I'm just it's so small. I'm trying to tie this stupid thing. Ah, I did it. Okay, voila. Okay, so now let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. Okay. And then I can kind of put the cake together and then put those ribbons in the right spot on the other layers. So we'll start with the bottom layer of the cake. That's the easy one. And if you remember, we're going to have an even border all the way around. Okay, there's that one. And now let's put some dimensionals on this layer. And I'm not going to add this one on just yet. Oh shoot, did I lose my top layer? Oh, you gotta be kidding. What else is new? I'm always losing stuff. Okay. This one will do just a little bit different. Okay. So I know this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna put the top layer on. And I'm going to put the top layer, and I'm going to give myself about the same measurement. And this is crooked. So I'm just going to do a real quick shimmy. So I have about, about 3/16 of an inch there. So I'm just going to try and give myself the same border at the top, right up in there. And then I've evened myself out, right? And now I can put this layer on, and this one's just going to go right in between. So I will often do that. I'll do my ends and then fill the middle in. Then that way you're pretty even. Okay. Okay. My dimensionals are in the way. Okay, how often do you do this too? I've got too many dimensionals that are in the way, so I'm just rubbing them off. Those two that were back there. Now I can get this in here. Okay. It seems to be an ongoing thing for me. Oh, put the dimensionals on, take the dimensionals off. There's that. And now I'll do just a little bit of glue since I removed those dimensionals, but it's still lifted because this layer of the cake is holding it up. Now, I'm really bummed that I've already lost my top cake. I'm sorry, my middle one, but that's okay. We'll just go this way. I'm just going to do a quick clip with the scissor. Good thing I had a bunch of these nearby. I'd actually cut the one that we cut for class that I just did, plus I had others ahead. Okay, so now this one's just going to sneak right in there, just like that. You guys, this is so cute. I wish you could see it in real life. You know how you can see it in real life is make it. So this card actually doesn't use too much of the kit. I mean, it uses elements from the kit, but, you know, not a bazillion. Okay? The next project uses just about the rest of the kit. Okay, so now my cake is coming together there. You can kind of see that. It's cute. These aren't quite positioned, but that's okay. They're on there, they're underneath, and I can position them in a little bit here. So I'm just going to add my layers here. So this is my Night of Navy is going to go on to my pecan pie layer. And I know the color in this is actually wild wheat, but I like the way the pecan pie looks. And it almost makes me think of like a milk chocolate in a way. I think pecan pie is more dessert, you know, has a dessert color, chocolate pie, chocolate cake, you know, chocolate chip cookies. It just works. Mocha fudge. Okay, so there's that layer. And now this is going to glue onto our card base. Now it's time to decorate the cake. And so I'm going to wiggle this. I like using green cap glue so I can just kind of wiggle this into place. Okay, so there's my big cake card. That's the base. We've started, we've got it ready to go. And now it's time to do some decorating. And so let's see, we're going to take just some white paper and we're going to stamp some flowers. And the flowers for this card are actually from the balloons. And so what you're gonna do is, sorry, I had like dimensional all over my fingers. I had to get it off. Okay, so I have the bigger balloon, which has little flowers in the background, and then the striped balloon. And ink-wise, I'm going to use Moody Mauve. I'm going to use Bubble Bath, and I'm going to use a Wild Wheat. And so these here, you could use these. This is Petal Pink and Pretty in Pink. You know, they all kind of work, but these are the ones that I actually ended up using, the colors that I liked best when it was all coming together. So with Moody Mauve, here's what I did with the Moody Mauve flowers. Because Moody Mauve can be really dark, let me just kind of stamp one right here. So that's really, really a dark, dark, dark brown. And on this larger flower, it was a little too much, it's just a little too much intensity for me with the larger balloon. So with the weight of the block, I'm stamping off. I did not push hard. And I'm going to stamp the balloon. Okay, let the weight of the block stamp off. And now I'm going to overlap where the little tie is on the balloon. Just overlap on that each time. And you're going to stamp 5. 5 balloons per flower. Always overlapping the little balloon tie. Okay, And one more. Ooh, this is a good one. And I really like when you just let the weight of the block stamp off, it gets kind of that mottled look. Ooh, that one barely fit on the paper, but that's okay because we're gonna fussy cut that out. So there's one flower. You saw how I did that one. Let me show you how same exact, whoops, holy moly, dropsies here. Let me just give this a quick clean. So same drill with the smaller flower and the smaller balloon. So here's the wild wheat. And I'm just gonna start and I'm gonna stamp once. Just overlap the balloon tie each time. Now what's fun as you do that, it also overlaps and kind of makes like a little star on the inside, which I think is kind of fun. So now you're gonna do that and you're going to cut yourself like 5 to 6 flowers. I used 6, and let me show you what I have so you can kind of see. Let's see, I have the Moody Mauve that we just stamped, and I have the Wild Wheat, and I also have another Moody Mauve. Now this Moody Mauve I did in full strength, just because the stripes seemed to break it up a little bit, and it wasn't quite as dark and like in your face. I also have a second one of the Wild Wheat, and then I have 2 of the Bubble Bath. So that's what you're stamping for this. Okay, some more stamping that we have going on. Let me bring my scratch paper in. And we're gonna need some of the candles. And so these are the candles from the kit. And I did the candles all the same. So I'm using 2, 4, 7. We're making 7 candles here. And so I love that this little candle here fits right inside of this printed die cut here. Now, instead of using the Night of Navy, which I think is just a little too strong, I want to pull it back a little bit. I'm going to use Boho Blue. You could use Boho or you could use Misty. You're just definitely going to want to have some contrast to be able to see where to go. But look how cute. I even tried Moody Mauve and some of the other colors on these, but this is what I liked best. So cute. You guys, it is just so cute. I love it. And once you get into the rhythm of things, you can kind of start stamping a little quicker. Bring these down so I'm not hitting the camera. Oh, good. I'm glad, Valerie. This really is a cute card. And it's a big card, and I had mentioned that it would be good for a group gift, or, you know, maybe it's a retirement. It doesn't have to be a birthday card. But you could also add more to the inside, more layers to the inside if you wanted it to be, you know, a group. That way you'd have more space. I'm closing up the boho, and I'm going to bring Night of Navy back. Back forth, back forth. And I'm going to stamp the banner. This is one of the pre-printed banners in the kit. So cute. I love it. So those are some of the elements we've got ready now. That's excellent. Now, I've also done a little bit of die cutting. And so I did these ahead of time just so you didn't have to watch me do all this. But for this card, I'm actually going to use the leaf die that is in the Every Celebration set. And so I believe this is actually going to match September's kit since it's Autumn Abundance. And then this one matched the July, and then the Hooray. We'll use that on the cake, on our banner in just a bit here. That one matched this month. But you can totally interchange these, okay? All right, so I have die cut myself 4 of the leaves from Night of Navy. Okay, so I have that. And these elements here are what I'm going to use to decorate my cake. So let's see here. We just kind of arrange a few things. What did I'm like, where did I put the card? Okay, to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to kind of decorate the cake with the flowers. And then I'm going to do some last details here. So what I'm going to start with is this large flower here. And before I put it on, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to kind of give it some curl in both directions. So I did some curl this way and some curl that way. And then I'm going to add this to the cake with a dimensional, and I'm going to have that dimensional be right in the center back so that I'll be able to layer other things underneath my cake. Okay, so we'll just kind of add this one kind of right there. Can you see where that is? And I'm going to start to train that to go that direction. And I'll give that a little push so that it sticks. Next, I want to add the happy birthday. So you guys, I am doing this from memory and one little picture. So I'm like, okay, I hope I'm doing this the right way. Hello, Tandra. How's it going? Claudia, hello. Okay, this one is going to just kind of sweep. I'm going to kind of tuck it underneath, but it's going to kind of come at an angle and it's going to sweep across just like so. And now with one of the Pretty in Pink flowers, sorry, this is Bubble Bath, not Pretty in Pink. I opted not to use the Pretty in Pink from my original stash. So there's that. I really love when you add a little bit of curl to the flowers. It just, to me, adds a little bit more dimension. It's a little more playful. And I'm going to tuck this one so that it kind of comes a little bit like that. Give that a push. And now this card is going to get, this layer is going to get 3 candles. And I'm going to put mini dimensionals, not on the candle stick, but just kind of right on the flame. Then that allows me to tuck down and underneath. Okay, so there's my 3 candles for this tier. And so I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to just cut this a little bit. Okay, so this candle is going to come up like so. Hold on to that little piece that you cut off. You're at a cool 75 in Georgia. Yeah, it's definitely cooled down. It's not the insanity that it was. We were in the triple digits for such a long time. It was just nice to get beyond that, you know. Okay, and this one's going to sneak down in there. Like so. I like them. I want them to overlap just a little bit. I think it's a little bit more interesting than... Okay, bear with me, folks. There we go. And now this little piece right here, I'm going to kind of just do a little teeny bit of glue on it. Let's see if I can get it there. In fact, I'm just going to put a little squirt of glue right there on the card. And I'm going to reach this inside and just extend that candle. And I know it's like surgery here, but it's in the fine details, folks. So now that candle reaches down behind the flower. Okay, so there's that one. And I kind of want to sneak this one. Can I get it just a skosh higher? I'm trying. Okay, beautiful. Now, we have a couple leaves just to finish this off. And these leaves, to me, are a little big. So here's what I did, folks. I reimagined these leaves just a little bit smaller. So I'm just trimming the bottom portion of the leaf off. Then we'll do a little glue here. And reach that underneath. Now it fills the area, but it's not quite so out of scale to the flower. Okay, same drill on this other side. I'll probably cut the same amount off. So I just trimmed off the bottom, not much. I just followed kind of the shape of what the leaf was already doing. And then this one is going to tuck right, and I'm going to kind of work under the twine there. And we're just going to tuck that one right in there like so. Okay? Now, here's what's fun. You're going to take your pick tool. Let me kind of do a 2-minute tidy up here. And I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring my dimensionals in here just so I have a kind of a waxy piece of paper. This is exactly what I did last time. And you're just going to kind of stab this. And once you get it going, it's pretty easy. But if you just give it a little stab and then just kind of start to poke at this, this all will unfringe pretty fast. And I actually would go all the way to the knot that I tied, which is under there a little ways. But then that way, it allows you to kind of, you know, these will kind of splay out and be really cute and fun. So to me, this is what the party was all about, kind of a party atmosphere for this. Okay, you get the idea. I won't sit and fringe all of these just because it'll take forever. It doesn't take that long, but you get the idea. Now to finish these, what I used for the insides of the flowers, these are the adhesive backed metallic gems. And so I used the copper color. So there's some copper, gold, and silver. So with the copper color, I'm going to come in here. And this just, you know, once I get this all splayed out, okay, so that with the copper and the rose gold, just in you know, in real life is super, super cute. It's very fun. And I'm even going to do another large on this flower here down on the bottom of the cake. And that finishes the bottom. So let's just kind of work ourselves up to the top of the cake here. Our next flower, I think what I'm going to do is give a curl to all of my flowers so they're ready to go. So there's my wild wheat, and here's a bubble bath. Marlene is back in Vegas for a couple weeks. Ooh, are you on vacation there? What you doing in Vegas? Okay, so I'm just kind of, that one's going to go there. And then we have one more Moody Mauve. That way these are all done and ready to be put on. They have a little curl to them. Now I have 2 more leaves. So let's get the leaves ready as well. This time I'm going to trim even more off. Okay? Because our layers start to get smaller. And I'll hold this up so you can kind of see where I cut it apart. Okay. So I'm going to take more off. And we'll do the same thing here. About the same amount. So Marlene's a snowbird between Vegas and Driggs, Idaho. Driggs, Idaho. I've been there. It's been a long time, but I've been there. Okay, so we have that leaf is going to go in there. So, and then we have our candles. So let's prep the candles so that they are ready. We'll get everything ready, then we can just kind of put it all together. Okay. See, Marlene, I'm in Idaho, but the Treasure Valley, which is where Boise is, does not get nearly as cold as the rest of the state. And it does not, it snows and it'll stick, but it doesn't like get crazy, you know, crazy. Yes, we've had some snowmageddons, but that's like out of the ordinary. Okay, so let me just flip these all back over so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so this flower here is going to be on the second tier of our cake. It's going to go right about, it's going to overlap a little bit right about there. And then the Moody Mauve is going to tuck behind it. And it's kind of coming off the edge a little bit. Stick those down. Let's put our leaf in. So Marlene, you've been to Boise and Eagle. Eagle is one town. We're right by it, right close to Eagle. In fact, if you know my friend Julie Beltramo, which I think you do, that is, she lives in Eagle, part-time. Okay, so this one's going to come over here to the top. And this one is going to come to the top as well. So I think I need to shift this over a little. Okay, just like so. And then we'll pop this leaf in and the candles. And I will put the gems in, but I'm not going to fringe all these pieces just because for time's sake, I don't want it to be too crazy. I think I even trimmed this leaf even smaller than on my original, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be identical. So these all get fringed out. Whoops. Got to make sure that glue sticks. And I kind of want it at a different angle so it's not the same as this one. Okay, so candles and gems, and then we'll do the inside. Because we have to make the inside cute too, right? So we have a candle in here. And another candle right about here. Cute. So cute, you guys. Really is fun and festive. We'll do a candle there. And one right about there. Fun. Okay, let's do some gem work here. These are the small copper, and I'm running out. There's a small, we'll do another large on this guy. And some smalls. Come on. This is why I like a hobby blade. I can get underneath them. One there. These just really, to me, finish this all off. And of course, you could add some more Wink of Stella if you want, because we can. So imagine with these, with the little fringes, and how cute this starts to get when you get that fringe detail in there. It just really brings it all to life. Marcia, you joined on late. Love this card. Did you talk about the mini studio ink spots for fall? Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I haven't, but I do have the details all dialed in, and they will post today. So I will tell you that there will be, it'll be on October 26th, which is a Saturday. It'll be all day. And you know me, all day. And we will have stamp sessions and presentation, demonstration, you know, some of that good stuff. And it's going to be Christmassy for sure. And it's called A Little Bit Festive, and it's a Studio Mini Ink Spots. So, all right, the inside of this card, we've got to you know, got to make a big splash on the inside here. I'm going to start with Bubble Bath. Okay. And I'm going to use a blending brush for Bubble Bath. And I'm going to add just a little bit, just a haze of ink down here to the bottom. And a haze of ink that you can't see, and neither can I. I think I need to probably give my Bubble Bath here, needs some re-inker for sure. You know, it stamps, but it is really, really faint. And if you can't see it, I can barely see it, sorry. So, but I'm just hitting this corner. Marcia, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot all about saying something. Okay, so are you starting to see that pink haze? Just in the bottom right corner. That's good, that'll do. Keep that color open. And here is one of these extra long and tall, skinny candles. And I am just going to have some fun. I'm going to do a candle here on the bottom. And then I'll do another kind of right up in here. So those two are Bubble Bath. And then I want to do with this other candle here. I'm going to do this one in Wild Wheat. I have Moody Mauve open as well. I'm going to do this one in Wild Wheat. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that right in here. Okay. And let's see, let's do another Wild Wheat kind of off over here. Kind of going off the page. And let's do a Moody Mauve. We'll do the Moody Mauve in the tall candle. We'll do that one like right up in there. Cool. Just some candles. And then with the ink spot, let's do the little shimmer, the flame. And so, 1, 2, 3, and this one, and then the last. And I'm going to stamp a greeting on here, make a wish, and we'll do that with the navy. And let me see, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to kind of, because I'm stamping a greeting, I'm squaring my paper off so that it's straight on my grid paper here. And that way I can stamp just a little bit straighter on my card. And this is just going to tuck right in there, like so. Oh, so cute, you guys. Then, of course, we have to do it. And that is, we've got to do a little Stella action on the inside here. I have a whole bunch of open ink pads, which I'm going to need to shut or we're going to have a problem here. So let me just give them a quick close, if you know what I mean. Okay, our gems. So we're going to put our gems, and we're going to have to do some, I think I'm going to do a mix of the gold and the copper. So we'll do some gold because I'm out of copper. And you need the smalls just because they're just not, you know, the other's too big. And we'll do one more copper, right? It's just barely going to hang off the edge, but that's okay because there's a pink layer. So we'll layer this whole thing on our bubble bath. And so these are the same, these two layers are the same as these two layers here, or close to it. Just make some layers. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, why did I put my glue on the bubble bath and not the white? Because for some reason, when I put glue on the back of white, it leaves the little, you know, I can see exactly how I colored the glue on, if you know what I mean. So this, to me, it helps hide that mechanic. So that, or I'll use a tape runner or stamp and seal on white sometimes, especially on a big piece like this where it's going to show. Okay, so this just layers on the inside, like so. And if you really needed more space for more signatures, this is where I would have, you know, another pink and another white right in there, just to really fill it out and have lots of space for more people. And Stella, here she is. So we'll just kind of give a good splattering down here where I've done, and a little bit kind of coming up in here. And this really does kind of bring things to life. Let me get her. There we go. Needed a little bit more plunge. And we'll do the same to the front. And what's fun is to kind of come in and hit these candles. All right, and there you have the big birthday cake card. Okay, with some, I have some homework left. I got to fringe those ends, but that's not too bad. Not too bad, folks. All right, that was our first project. Now, this second project is going to, and I'm just going to kind of bring my tray over here where I can see things. The second project that we're going to do today, let me put my gems away. Ta-da-da. Is I'm going to show you, and I don't think we'll do the entire thing. We'll see how far we get. We're going to be making, and I just have a picture of it for right now. So this obviously isn't to scale, but we're going to make the birthday banner that I sent in. And the reason I want to do this is because I want one for myself. Because it's really, really, really cute. So I'm going to show you what I did. It does use a lot of product from the kit, but you will still have stuff left over, I promise. But it does use a lot of stuff. And let's start with one of the card bases. And you're actually going to use all three of these cake card bases for the banner here, because you can see that they're on each of the main banners. But what I think is fun about this banner is it's cute. You could do a couple things with these banners. To me, you could put them up. I think they're fun kind of over a mirror at birthday time for somebody. In September, we have a lot of birthdays. Tomorrow's my nephew's birthday, and he just moved here from Texas. Just, you know, Nick's father-in-law's birthday is today. It's just, there's all kinds of birthdays in September, including mine. But anyhow, so that can be fun. I also think that, you know, if you had a large gift, I think it would be a fun way to decorate a present instead of like a big ribbon or something. Okay, so I'm turning my card over, and I'm actually going to be cutting this. I'm going to put the long edge at 3 7/8. Let me get that in the view here. 3 7/8. And so we're going to cut that apart. Save this. It's great. We actually are going to die cut some pieces out of the blue here. But I did another project for PPX where I cut some leaves out of this color here. So save that. That's a great piece to use. And you're going to do that to all three of the cards in the kit. Okay, so all three, you're going to cut it down to 3 7/8. Then you're going to take your scissors and you are going to fussy cut all around the cake. Notice I did some ahead of time, just so that we could get more of this done than not, because it takes a little time to get around all those little frosting swirls. Okay, save that too. You never know when you might need it. Then again, it might be trash. Okay, so that you're going to do to all three. And I have these all three done. Then you're also going to take one of each of the envelopes. And let me show you how you're going to cut each of the envelopes down. I've already cut 2 down just so you don't have to sit here and watch me do it. But the first thing I like to do is just to cut the sides off of the envelopes so that I can open this up and inspect what I have. So I'm going to cut this right on that edge there. So you see how I've cut that right there? And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut right on these edges. Basically, I'm cutting all the white off. And now this measurement is going to be 4 inches. And then we're going to turn this, and it's just right at 5 1/4 or just a little shy. But that's what you want. Okay, so you want that 5 1/4. So your 4 by 5 1/4, that's a very familiar measurement. FYI, so if you have this part of the envelope, that's what I used on the Round We Go to make these rosettes, that long piece. I did 1, 2, and 3. And that's how I had enough to make a rosette out of one envelope. And then I never used them. Oh well, I'll use them for something else. So this is, you can save that for later. So let's just see what we have here. I'm going to bring out our main pieces. So our main pieces are going to be the 3 bases. Okay, there's an envelope. And there's a cake. There's another base. So this is the base that would be used for the fold-out card. Okay, there's an envelope and a cake. There's a base and the envelope and the cake. All right, there you have it, folks. That's the start of everything. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this one. Okay, because I already have the others prepped, but we're just going to assemble all of this right now. Just takes a few here. You're like, holy moly. Yeah. I used to say I should take stock out in Stampin' Dimensionals because I sure use a lot of them. And I'm just going to flip this over. Oh, thanks, Marcia. I think this is a fun project. And I know some people go, oh, but I need birthday cards. Great, then make some birthday cards. I wanted a banner, so I'm making a banner. Okay, so this is going to go right on the edge here, or not edge, but just give yourself an even border all the way around. Okay. And you know what? Before I do that, I have to do something here real quick. Real quick. It's going to take me a second here. But I did fringe the edge of all of this. I guess I should have done these. Oh, I ripped. Don't rip it. Just give it a little fringe. To me, I just liked seeing that white core of the envelope coming through. Because this is a printed paper, you get that white core, and it's kind of a fun little added bonus texture / color. Okay, now I can put this one on, and I think I'll put that tear at the bottom. It'll be less visible. And so that just comes right up at the bottom of that. See, just has just a little bit peeking through there. And then this is going to glue to this layer. Speaking of white center, Stampin' Up! Today has started a scrapbooking line. Hopefully you've maybe seen that. It offers two-tone cardstock, and I will cheat and say I have some here. I was lucky to have some, sampling it for an artisan project. And it's really cool, you guys, because like I have the pool, one of the pieces is pool party, and you know me, I like pool party, right? But it's, you've got pool party, dark and light. So one side is darker than the other, and the paper is printed. So it's printed, the color's printed on white paper, so that when you go to either do a torn edge or like this sort of detail where I'm fringing it with my scissors, or you maybe emboss and then sand with, you know, like a nail file, it's going to show that white core coming through. And it's just kind of fun to play with that. So how many of you have seen the scrapbooking brochure, the new brochure? I'll post it here later today. I almost posted it yesterday and I'm like, whoops, too soon. I'm going to get in trouble if I do. So I didn't, but fun stuff. Hey, Jacqueline, what's up? Always fun to see who's popping on. Okay. So this is actually, the pink one goes on here, and this one actually goes on this side. So now that we have this one, let's just do a quick fringe. Little distress. Oops. I didn't want so much distress as I wanted some of that white, just kind of, and you'll see why what I'm going to tie this to in just a second here. Why I did a little bit of this ruffly, textural, fringy edge. Just that corner. Okay, there's that. We'll glue that on. So now we have the base of our, so there you can see that's kind of, this is where it all, you know, kind of like the big cake card. You have the card, then it's all about the decorating, right? Okay, so let's make these cakes look like cakes. And we're going to use the pieces that are right from the kit. And so you could mix these pieces up. You don't have to use them, you know, like they had a different mixed one on each cake. I'm going to actually keep them all together and the same. I just thought we've got enough pattern going here. I don't need to alter these layers. We'll keep them all the same. So we'll just add our sponge, our cake layers all the way across here. And I'm just going to start, I'm going to do the bottom and the top, and then I'll wiggle the middle one in there. So I'm going to put this all the way to the edge of the frosting layer. This makes me want some cake. Okay, so cute. This really is a cute, cute card for a birthday. I might order another one of these packs just so I could make some of these birthday cards, just get a refill. And I think they're still available. You think I would like learn and catch on to maybe look that up right before I get on? But no, I didn't. I was busy working on other stuff. There's that. So tell me, you guys, what are you doing with this kit? What is your plan? Do you plan to make the cards? I used the balloons. In fact, I used a lot of the balloons on this project, but I didn't use the balloon layer, that one. I just haven't quite caught the you know, haven't got a creative thought to use those for just yet. So unfortunately, they didn't get any love from me. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. It is still available. Awesome to know. Okay, here comes the OCD in me. I've got glue right here. And I was looking in my picture to see if it gets covered, but it doesn't get covered. So I got to get rid of the glue right there. That looks much more better. All right. So right there is really cute, folks. But I think it's time to decorate these and have some fun. So let me share with you what you're going to need. Let's do the cakes first, then we'll do the round pieces that are in between each cake. Okay, so we need, for this first one, we're going to use the happy birthday, and I'm going to place it kind of just like I did the other on the big birthday cake. So let's stamp that with happy birthday, and we'll do that with the Night of Navy. Okay, you just kind of push these out of the way a little bit. And love a banner. Definitely love a banner. We don't do a whole lot of stamping on this project, but since we're talking about stamping, let's do some of it. I'm going to use a pink one, and I'm going to use a petal pink. So I'm going to stamp the Make-A-Wish. That way we have these ready. The layers on the third card are crooked. My layers on the third, are they? This one? The layers on the third, yeah, they might be. Do you mean between here? Do you mean they're not even? I don't know if I can move them. They're a little down there now. But we'll put stuff on them. It'll get busy enough that you might not notice. Okay, so there's that. Then this one here, let's see. We need the stamp, and I have to figure out what I did with it. Oh, shoot. I thought I brought it out with me. I thought, oh, I don't need that stamp. But I brought them just in case. We need the one that says, it's time for cake. And I don't think I brought it out with me. Oh, shoot, Queen. All right, well, I don't have it. We'll just have to pretend this says it's time for cake. But I have cut myself a little piece of Moody Mauve, and this is from one of the card bases. Remember, I said keep that. You never know when you're going to need it. Then again, it might be trash. So from one of these top pieces, just cut yourself a little, and it doesn't have to be huge. You just want it big enough to cut to fit the word celebrate. I could swear I brought those stamps out with me, because I had them all on blocks, and I go, oh, I don't need these two, but I do need that one. There's celebrate. All right, I might have to go get it just because it's going to drive me nuts not to have that, and it's going to be kind of, but I can put it on after. I'll put it on after. That way you don't have to wait for me to go get it. Okay, so moving right along, we have our stamp pieces, and we're now going to do some round we go die cutting. Okay, so this one's going to go here. This one goes up there, here and here, the one that is stampless right now. But I want you to grab one of the peach or the petal pink card bases, and you can see what I've cut out here. So I've cut a bunch of things out that we're going to need, and these are all from the Round We Go dies. So let me just bring this out. You're going to cut this one, the large scallop, 4 times. And you're going to cut this larger detail piece 3 times. And if you go 1, 2, 3, they fit there nicely. And then the smaller one, 1, 2, 3. So you need 6 and 4. And then I'm going to keep these handy because we're going to be cutting some other circles out of other colors here in just a minute. So I have all of those pieces. So let me just show you what I have. Okay. That way, if you are making this might be the perfect time to take a little screenshot here so you can see what you're going to need. You're going to need 4 of those. And you're going to need 3 of these kind of daisy-esque pieces from Round We Go. So I have 3 of the larger with the pointier tips and 3 with the rounded. Then from the blue, remember the top of that one card? Just cut yourself some circles. You may not even need this many, but have some. Okay. And then from the copper, we're going to cut, and this is all from Round We Go right now. Okay. Oh, there's another blue one. And I don't even think I used all of those, but sometimes what I do is I just like to have some pieces on hand so that I can just kind of, I have pieces that I can work with, you know, and go, do I need it? Do I not? No, you know, you just kind of decide. So this is all the stuff from Round We Go. And then from Misty Moonlight, also from Round We Go. See that one right there? That, let me show you that die. It embosses and cuts at the same time. It's super cute. That's what this one is here in the copper from the metallic paper. So these here are the copper metallic textured 12 by 12 paper. So this, you guys, you're going to need 4 per banner. So you're going to need 12 of these. And you'll see what these will be for. So 12. And I'm just going to pile this down. I don't have room to spread them all out, but you need 12. Okay, so this is your Round We Go cutting. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, if you're going to plan to make this, you'll need something like this or do your own thing. But this is what I used on what I made. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just going to kind of set these up here for when I need them. And these, I want to kind of keep them separated because they get tangled up. These I'll just put back in my tray. Okay, so let's see here. Let's decorate. I said let's do a cake at a time, so let's do this one. And so for this, you're going to need a fork from the kit. So cute, you guys. You need a fork. You're going to need 2 candles. Okay, so this cake piece is getting 2 candles. And I have die cut myself a bunch of the Hoorays from the textured metallic copper paper. Okay, so I actually have cut 3 of the Hoorays and I've cut 6 of the Hoorays in white. The OCD spoke too loud. That's okay. Okay, so now what I want to do is we're going to have a hooray in there, and I was just reading Jacqueline's thing. That's why I got a little distracted. Okay, so we have all these elements that are happening on this first card here. Okay, so, but what I need to do is we need to stamp our candles first. And I'm actually going to stamp all 3 of the candles. We're going to vary these up, so they're not always going to be just the little candle. So I wanted to point out, I just need to give these 2 bigger ones, or longer ones, taller ones, a little clean. Okay, so let me bring in my scratch paper here. We'll bring in this envelope piece. We'll use that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the boho again because I like that lighter color. I'm going to use boho on all the candles, but I'm going to change up the candles. And you'll see that just because this is longer, it doesn't mean that you can't, it still fits right on the candle. So that way you can have a variety of different candles on your project here. So now we'll go to this longer guy and we'll, okay, there's that. Now let's just do all the candles since we're here. So I've got a couple more to do. We have 2 for one and 3 for another. You could do 2, 2, and 2, but that was too expected. So I changed it up. Okay, so there's a couple of the spotted guys, a couple of the floral candles. And then the rest we'll do with the stripe that came from the short guy. This one right here. There's that. Whoops. A couple of these are not quite right on, but you know what? It's hand stamped. Call it art. That's half the fun. It's handmade. Okay, that is it for stamping, except for my piece that's missing. Okay, so this card, cake, that one's getting 3, that one's getting 2. All right, so, and then each one gets a fork, for sure. And each one gets a little medallion. So you kind of know we're spreading the wealth here. And then each one is also going to get a hooray. Now, I told you I've already die cut these, but I've also given them a backing of white. So there's a hooray layer in copper and a hooray layer in white. And I have actually one more layer to add to them. And I know it seems like kind of an obnoxious thing, but it needs it just so that it really stands out. So I have right here, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and it doesn't take a ton, but it's the perfect way to add dimension to your words where there's like no way you're adding dimensionals to this, but you want it to have a little bit more visibility, a little bit more presence on your project. Just keep adding as many layers as you think you're going to need. And you don't have to put glue everywhere. Now, my back layer here, I actually have an adhesive sheet on the back side of it. And that will allow me to be able to put these down a lot easier and faster. Okay, so let's put the candles on. And you know what? It looks like, you guys, I've trimmed my candles. So I'm just going to kind of hold these and give them a little trim, because I felt like when I put them up here, they were just a little too tall. So I just clipped off like, an 1/8 of an inch, just shortened them up a little bit. So those are going to go on. And let me show you how I put these on. I used mini dimensionals, just like I did the first time. Kind of right back behind the sparkle part. And then they laid flat, okay, behind, so it wasn't kind of colliding with the cake. So we have just a little bit of something like, whoops, got to take the back off. Like so. There's my candles. And now the hooray, which I told you I have adhesive, but I also kind of had it started. And that is just going to kind of go across this top layer right in here. And just put it on and have fun. Don't worry about it being straight. But I do worry that I got an adhesive blob. But I'm just kind of catching the bottom of the candles with that. So that way you can kind of see. Oh, welcome, Kayleen. Okay, so now for this one, I'm going to have my little medallion. That's going to glue. This is going to dimensional. So we'll do some dimensionals on this banner. And then the fork. We have to talk about the fork. And the fork is going to kind of come right in through here and look good. But we're going to make it look even better. And I don't know about you, but that's the flattest looking fork I've ever seen. So we're going to give it a little curl and then a little curl back this way. And then we're going to curl the tines of the fork up just a little bit. You guys, that makes that so much more cute. It's just one of those little details that I go, yes, that's definitely what I'm doing on this. Okay, so let's just put this all together. And this, in fact, these little kind of flowery jobbies, they're going to go on the corners of each of the cakes. So I'm just going to do that right now. All right. Just kind of getting this task done and out of the way. Well, I'm glad you liked that. You know, somebody gave me a thumbs up on that. Okay. So we'll do that to all of the forks. So you just have to kind of find some spots to glue down where it will glue down, like right in here. And I might need a dimensional back there. We'll see. I've got one ready, locked and loaded and ready to go if I need it. Okay, so this one's just going to kind of reach across. And then you put your banner across this bottom corner. We're going to crisscross over the fork. And this just kind of, just like that. And for this banner, instead of using the metallic gems, I'm using the basic gray smoky slate pearls. And these are perfect for this kit. So all of the candles are going to get the smoky slate pearls. So if you attended camp, my last Studio Ink spots, you have these. So let's just kind of quickly get these all put on. Even though these aren't placed just yet, I've got them out. I'm going to work and get them done. So they say when you're working, you know, when you're mass producing something, to do all of one task. Don't do like this one, then go to this one. It's just faster if you do all of the same task. They say you work faster that way. Saves energy. Okay, so there's my candles. And it just kind of finishes these candles off nice and cute, right? So that is banner number 1 is done. And let's move along. I feel like, yeah, it's actually pretty close to the picture. Okay, let's move along to number 2 here. Let's put dimensionals on the Celebrate. Okay, and this is going to go, so they all kind of have a similar look, but they're all just a little bit different. Now this one, I'm actually going to keep this parallel with the bottom, but it's going to go right over our little sparkle splattery guy right there, okay? So let's do that one like that. And same drill, I have a hooray here. And I'm going to glue this to the back of this guy. That way I can give it just a little bit more dimension. So that means I have 3 layers here. I have copper, and then white, and then white. And when I really think about it, and I'm working smarter, I will use thick basic white because that gives you even more dimension. If you know what I mean. Vern. Have you decided on the products for your Christmas camp? Well, do you have any requests? I have some ideas, but I'm also happy to take requests. Okay, there's the hooray for this cake. Again, remember I put the adhesive sheet on the back, so that made it nice and easy that I can just come right in here and add that hooray right in there. Oops, I'm gonna go up just a little higher. And so now my hooray is pretty much running parallel with the cake layers. Okay, there's that one. Give it a good push. It needs candles. I'm going to trim the candles again. This time I'll show you how much I'm cutting off. That wasn't very nice of me. I'm just cutting off like that much. You see that? Just shorten them. They're a little too tall. Same drill. Oh, I should have put dimensionals all at the same time. Season of Elegance. What is Season of Elegance? I don't remember. You'll have to describe it to me because I don't have it. I will tell you, November's class is Reindeer Days. That's what I'm planning for for November, for technique time. Okay, and I'm going to shorten this dude just a little bit more. A little trim there. And this one gets a fork as well. Yeah, Season of Elegance, but I don't know which one. I don't remember which one it is, Jacqueline. My brain is mush. Okay, so this is going to go on with a little bit of glue. Got a dimensional backing there. A little bit on this end. And this one's just going to cut across the plate this direction, just like so. The first sweet in the catalog. Oh. I know which one it is now. It took me a second. All right, let's assemble this last one. Okay, let's curl the fork. Give it some life. Okay, now this fork, I'm going to put this fork on first. This fork is actually going to go, I'm going to tuck it under these petals here, and it's going to kind of go on the plate. Get in there. Just kind of like that, okay? So now our forks aren't all the same. And then this one is supposed to say, it's time for cake. Imagine it says, it's time for cake. And it's going to go, and I'm going to just put one dimensional so I can get it off and stamp it later. Hopefully you've got, you're okay with me not stamping it. Notice I tapped that with my thumb. That way I can pull this off easier afterwards. But this one, just like this one, it's going to kind of go across in there. And it's going to say it's time for cake. Obviously, I would have dimensionals across the whole thing. But I'm just going to put it there so I have a placeholder for now so that I can put my hooray on. So here's one more hooray that I have nearby ready to go. So you don't need to glue it all over and crazy, just in a few spots. Okay. Okay, looking good. Yes, so I'm going back to classes. I was thinking Reindeer Days because it is really cute. And I love the way the reindeer layers in the dies, and it's just a fun little set. That's November's class. And I have not decided on the desktop calendar class. I'm waiting for I just kind of want to see first the online exclusives that will come out in November. Okay, so this hooray tucks right down in there. Okay, so they kind of, everything has the same set of elements, but they're arranged a little bit different. Okay, so let's trim these guys. Give these candles a quick trim. Again, I'm taking off anywhere from 1/8 to a little bit more. And I should have already had dimensionals on the backs of those, but oh well. So Jacqueline said Season of Elegance. Anybody else have some favorites out there? Okay, so this cake gets 3 candles. Might need to shorten some of these. Yep, I definitely need to make them shorter. That one there. This candle, I almost don't need a dimensional. I'm just going to glue it since it's going to be on top of this little swirl of frosting. And you know what I forgot to do, you guys, that I remember totally doing on the original? And that is, I took Wink of Stella and I kind of colored these swirls. So see how there's a spiral? I kind of did the same spiral with Wink of Stella here. So start wide. It's just kind of cute to add that little bit of sparkle there. Whew, in real life, it is cuteness. It just adds to the fun. And of course, because we can, and it does just kind of make the whole thing glitter and come alive. Okay, all right. Now, that is the, that's kind of like the juxt of the banner pieces. It's in all of the top stuff that makes it very frou-frou and fun. So let's look at that. What I'm going to do to connect my my banner here, I said you needed 12 of these, so each banner gets 4. I feel like I'm going to play tiddlywinks here. Each one gets 4, and the reason they're getting 4 is you're doing 2 on each front, and then you're going to do 1 on the back as well, just to give it some stability. Oh, Claudia, I'm glad you like that one. I definitely like it. Okay, so these guys here, I'm going to glue this, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball halvesies. So I'm just putting 1 circle there, and then I'll flip it over, and I'm going to add another one. And we're just going to sandwich those 2. So now that way, the back side is, it's tidy, and it kind of, it's better looking. Just kind of cleaning it up. But at the same time, it's giving it some durability. So, well, I'm glad you like this banner. It's cute. I enjoy it. I enjoy a good banner. Haven't made one in a while. So I thought it was time. So just kind of eyeball your circle, like right in half, and then flip over. Just like so. Okay, so that guy's ready for hole punches. We need to do these as well. So I'm sorry this is so boring. So when it comes to some of these details like this. So tell me more, what kinds of things you guys, do you like making at Christmas time? Tags, boxes, packages, package decor. So in other words, maybe that would be different. Is a whole class all about decorating bags? I don't know, could be fun. Kayleen just said, is this the, yes, Kayleen, this is a remake. So I wanted one of these banners for myself. So I decided to totally remake the project. So I did already the big birthday card. the big birthday card that was shown as the artisan, and then the banner here. Yeah, you got it. You're seeing how I put them together. And so for the most part, I'm just using the kit contents and the Round We Go dies. I've not really added anything else. Let's see, we added boho blue ink to this. Everything else is kit content. And then I'm going to add some ribbons here in a minute. So that's not in the kit. Oh, and the gems or the pearls. Okay, I got to do tags for sure. I'm with you, Kayleen. That's what I want at Christmas time, is just a bunch of tags, because I want tags for myself. And then everybody else goes, well, where are the tags? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get some more out. Or they'll start just cutting wrapping paper, and they're not even cutting like decent rectangles. They're just kind of eyeballing it. And I'm like, no, make your tag, your presents pretty. They think I'm nuts. Remember, it's a house full of guys, right? Okay. Boxes, bags, and tags. That's good to know. Because you guys, I have stacks and stacks of Christmas cards. And I really kind of, what I end up using so much more of are tags. Tags mostly. But I think I'd like to come up with some ideas for, kind of like this could go on a really big birthday gift. If you had a really big gift, you could do the same thing. The big Christmas present. That way they get 2 gifts in one. Okay. All right. These are all ready. I have to do a little bit more prep. Okay, remember we have these things. We're going to get to these in just a second here. But we have 4 of these pieces here that we've cut. And these go, let me show you, they're going to go in between and on the ends of the garland. Now, when I took the photo, I had to squish everything together. When I actually sent it to Stampin' Up!, I opened it up and eased it up a little bit. But, so these are in between. And I didn't want to punch holes in this to run the ribbon through, because then it would get kind of stiff. And I wanted these to have a little bit more play in how they could move. And so here's what I did. And Cindy pointed it out, and she said, maybe it's to reinforce. And it wasn't to reinforce. It does reinforce it. Yes, she's correct. But it was really a way for me to run my ribbon through the whole thing. So I'm just going to flip these each over. And what I did is, these are just pieces of basic white paper. No, it's just less than, it's just a strip that's going to fit on the back, okay? But what you're going to do is we're just going to glue, and for right now, I'm just going to glue the top. I will glue the bottom. I'll go back and glue the bottom after I've run my ribbon through. But just put these on, and like I say, this is going to be your ribbon slide. And yes, they will go straight up and down, but they'll actually turn. That's why I say it gives a little bit of play, and it doesn't make your garland quite so stiff or rigid in how it hangs. Okay, so we'll let that glue set up. Okay. And, okay, so we're moving right along. We're moving right along here. Let's move to the ribbon. So we talked about having the ribbon. And so the ribbon that I'm using, and this, if you remember, I said I chose to fringe the edge of all my little envelopes here. I chose to do that because this ribbon here, this is the ribbon that's part of the Iconic Imagery Suite collection. And it's called Cream. And I thought, cream, cream in the cake, right? And while it's not white, like everything else in this is kind of, you definitely got the white. There's something about this cream that just, I don't know, I just love the mix of this. So this is the ribbon that I used. It's called Cream and Woven Ribbon, but it has a little bit of it has some texture to it. And so that's why I've done a little texture in the sides there. Okay, so let's Okay, I've got these. I need to punch my holes in my garland here. And so I just have a hole punch here. You kind of mush those together. I'm going to start on this end because these have had a longer time to dry. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to open my hole punch, the little spot so that I can see where I'm going. And I'm just going to hit it right in the center of that. Okay, there's those two. We'll just move right on down. I could use my Crop-A-Dile. Haven't brought that out in a long time, but that would work too. But this is a 3/16 inch hole punch. I wanted the hole a little bigger so that the ribbon would slide through easily. And last one. Okay. Now I'm ready for my ribbon, and you can do as much ribbon that you like. I'm going to do probably at least like 2 yards. So here's about 2 yards. I'd rather have enough than have it be too short. So specifically, yeah, I am just about 2 yards, exactly. I just measured with my nose. Hello, Nan. Great to have you jumping on. Okay, so this is real easy here, folks. I'm going to give myself a little bit more of a point just so I can get through. So I'm going to start from the front and go to the back and then come up. Start from the front. Let me just slide these way down. But look how that cream just kind of, it just kind of pokes right out the top there. You see a little bit of it, and I was just really pleased with the cream color. Because I did try white and some other things that you'll see here in a second, but it wasn't as impressive to me, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm just trying to even this out. Pretty good, pretty good. And last one. And so I'm actually going to open this up a little bit. Just so we have some room to work. Okay, there we have it. Now let's go in with these, and I'm going to open up just even a little bit more, just so there's plenty of room. And so that I'm not having to like thread this through, I'm going to just flip that right over the top. And you'll see, I'm going to flip this whole thing over in just a second here. So I'm just finding where those are. So I don't always make my banners exactly the same. I mean, usually I'd maybe punch a hole here and here, but I didn't want the holes to show. And I wanted it to have a little bit of a different freedom to it. Okay, so now I can come in, and with my glue, I can attach these down. Okay, there's that one. And I'm just going to hold on for a second to make sure it's kind of engaged. Got that glue adhering. Okay, this one as well. So Robin has just popped on. We have been hanging out for almost an hour and a half, no, almost 2 hours now. And so I've been making the projects that I sent in to Stampin' Up, the alternatives. So this is the birthday banner, and we already made the big birthday card. Okay, let's get this last one glued. Then I got to get all the glue off my hands. Okay, see how it's flipping right here? This is the perfect chance to get that to lay the right way before you glue it all down. Okay, I'm just going to hold on to that for a minute. I'm going to find some scratch paper here to wipe off the glue. Okay, and I'm just going to give these a little press to make sure they've engaged. Cool. So that is how I put the mechanics of this together. All right, so now we still have a few more elements to add, and we're almost done. What are you thinking? So I know in the picture, it's going to show this a little tighter, but that's because I needed it a little tighter in the picture so that you could see everything. Okay, so, because I do kind of like the blue to peek through and show. All right, so to finish this off, we are going to need some of the balloons from the kit. So I used all of the pink balloons and all of the bigger Moody Mauve balloons, and then some die cuts that we already showed earlier. So let's just start, and I'm not going to do all, whoops, sorry folks. I'm going to do, oh, that's nice, Barbara. Thank you. That's innovative ways. Yeah, sometimes it's just like, well, how to do it and make it fall better, you know, hang better. That's why I did the strips on the backs. Okay, so let's take this guy right here first. That's going to go here. And then if you remember, we die cut a bunch of things from Round We Go. So I'm just going to have some fun placing some of these items. And here's one of the blue. So this one's going to get something that looks a little bit, and of course it's going to get dimension and some ribbon, some of the fringy stuff. All right, this one, I'm just going to slide this direction. It's going to go here, and then we're going to have a pink balloon. So each of these now are going to get the same, and I know that just kind of fell out of camera there. So the rest of these, this is the only one that has this, and then the others have balloons and these cuteness thingies. What are we going to call these, right? And so we're just going to layer them. So I will layer these, but what I'm not going to do is all of the ribbon and fringing because that takes some time. So let's just kind of go through one at a time. And now that I've kind of laid them out, I'm going to show you each one. And on one of them, I'll do the ribbon work so you can see what I did. But then that way you don't have to sit here, and we won't be here until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because tying all the ties, it gets a little, you know. Okay, so this first one, I'm going to put dimensionals on my balloon here. And I'm going to switch to some bigs. Of course, I don't have a lot of bigs here. I need to order some dimensionals. This is, I think, the last full sheet that I have. Lots of minis in my room, but not this size. Okay, that's good. Okay, so some dimensionals on this. And because this is going to hang off the top, keep your dimensionals kind of towards the middle. So this first one, I'm going to use, this is what I'm going to have. I have a little mini copper circle cut from Round We Go. And now this one, I'm going to put this guy on first, or at least hold it there. So my vignette on this one, and actually let me put just a little glue on this. So I have these are my 3 main pieces, and I'm going to put a little bit of, I'm going to call these kind of like sparklers in this case. And then my balloon on this one, I have some showing, and then this one is going to kind of come up in here, okay? And so I'm going to put a dimensional here, because if I put dimensionals on the whole thing, I end up getting it kind of crooked, cattywampus. So this balloon is going to go like right in there. And then I have one tiddlywink, and it's going to go on with a dimensional. I can see in the picture it has a dimensional on it. So I have a dimensional on this, and it's going to just kind of peek right out in there. Just adding a little bit of that copper there. Now, here's what I've done with each of the balloons. Each of the balloons, and this is what I'm going to probably do the most of this off camera because it will bore you to tears. Except I can't find what I did with my, here it is, right in front of me. So this is the twine. And so you just have to make sure that you have enough to make it, because you've got to do 1, 2, you've got 6 balloons you need to do. So just make sure you have enough twine to do everything. So I'm just going to cut a piece here. Again, I'm going to take that core out. And I'm going to kind of, I kind of like them when they're crazy, but you're going to tie around each balloon, tie a knot, and I'm just going to do the one balloon. I'm not even going to do the pink one, but you are going to do all of them if you're going to make something like this. But you can see why this is like the hardest part of the project, tying these balloons. And I think what I did on the smaller ones, I actually used a glue dot to help me out, to hold it in place. See how this one's like jumping away from me? Okay, there we go. Okay, you kind of want to train these to go down. By the time I tie it again here, it should go down. Okay, great. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the cake card, and that is I am going to fringe this whole end, because that's part of that's what makes this project fun, are all these little explosions of fringe on the balloons, and it just adds to the party atmosphere. So all of those get that action. Okay, so that balloon would have it. And the Make-A-Wish, I'm going to do this vignette as well. These others I'm just going to hold off on, just because you'll see them in the pictures, which I do have a few pictures posted, but I have lots more of them that I will post here shortly after this video. Okay, let's do this one. And this is also going to get the fringy craziness. Okay, this one might have been cut a little long, but oh well. I wish we had some of this rose gold all the time, because I really like this color. Okay. So these would get fringed for sure. But let's just put this on. Let's go 1, 2, and then we'll put some of those circles on. And this just kind of goes right diagonally through that. And I like the way it just kind of reads like that. This one, I'm going to put this one on with a dimensional as well. The level of details, thanks, Jacqueline. I was at a group meeting not too long ago, and I had done a presentation, and this one lady she goes, that's just way too much for a card, too much effort. And, she, I guess, wants to, make things a little faster. I'm going to use a smaller blue circle because I have the 2 sizes. I think I want the smaller one. And, it's a preference. I don't want to be finished in 4 minutes or 10 minutes. I like to revel in the process of designing and creating. And so that's why I make the types of projects I make. And we each have our different preference and our different, what we like to do. And that's what I think makes this whole Stampin' World community, that's what makes it fun, is we each do our own thing. Okay, so I've got one. So these went on with dimensionals. There's one right in there. So the fun of this is you've got all these balloons and these circles kind of sprinkled throughout the top here that makes it nice and just kind of crazy fun. There's one more thing I did to this besides designing and tying, and that is there are more ribbon dangles in between each of these sections. And I have that done ahead of time just so you don't have to see what I did. But let me show you what I used. I have all these pieces here. I used 2 different ribbons. So I used the iridescent striped trim ribbon, and I cut this in 3 sections. So this a section of this is already cut off because I needed 4 of them. And so here they are trimmed down. And so you would have 1, you need 4, and they're going to go in between. You're going to end between, and on the end. And then I did the same thing. I cut down some of the petal pink and white combo pack, and I did the petal pink only, but I cut this stuff in half. Okay, so let me show you size-wise. They are pieces that are about 16 inches long, and then I've cut up through the middle. Then I'm going to fold them in half. Okay, and this is almost easiest. Let me kind of move all these out of the way. I'm going to flip this over just so you can kind of see what we're doing. And I'm going to open this one up just a little bit. In between, straddling each of these. So I'm just going to kind of work this in there. So know it's folded in half. And I'm just going to do a half hitch right onto my cream ribbon. Okay. And then just tighten that right up on the ribbon. And then, so each one gets an iridescent striped trim, and each one gets the petal pink. I'm going to run my finger down just to get all those loose ends off. And so same deal, let's get rid of all that. So this stuff really fringes apart, but once you get it down a few layers, it cleans up and looks great. Okay, so fold that in half. Same drill. It's actually better if you go upside down on it. And then pull them down. And then you have to just kind of style in between. But so here's where, these kind of hang down and get fun. But, kind of squish those together and then trim them to the lengths you like. Mine are about, these are a little long, but they're more, and I don't want them to be exactly the same, but there you have. So and there would be another rose gold hanging in here because there's another balloon there. Now, I did add all of those in between here as well, and just kind of moving right along. But because that takes a lot of time, I don't want to sit and do that and totally bore you to death. But now I think we have really done a lot of what's here with a few details left to go, but it'll take me probably another half an hour to finish it. I'm just going to move it out of the way so that you can see. Here's the picture. You can see that I have the little, the little sparkly medallion daisy type things on each of those. Oh, there's one there too. I need one more. That's okay. I just noticed it. There it is. But anyway, you get the idea. I hope you liked that. I think it's fun. I'm going to post more pictures of this. And then we have the banner almost finished. And then this card is almost done. I just need to fringe these ends. But that is time for cake. I think I might order another one of these refills just to be able to make some of the cards to go along with it. And it really is a fun kit. And these are colors I love. I love this mix. It's unusual, and that's what I like. And there's no Calypso in it. Sorry, I had to say it. All right, so do give your preferences of ideas for class. I'm taking suggestions, whether it's a mini camp or a class coming up. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to stamping with you guys. Next week, don't forget, is the iconic imagery. And you can also earn the Technique time for this month by purchasing on the host code here. And a $50 purchase gets you this class for free. A $75 purchase gets you this class and Nests of Winter. Use it up for October. All right. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, everybody who hung out with me for a long haul for 2 projects. That's okay. All right. Have a good one. Do share what you love stamping and what you've been making lately. I like to see it. Take care, folks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.